2009. He is our HARF Driver of the Year, and I think your dad actually went back to his seat to start texting me because I want to make sure that I don't get this wrong. The list of places where you have won over 20 wins in one season across various disciplines, including Belleville Midget Nationals, which at one time I thought you were only going to have one chance to win that race, and those darn 12 laps short. But you won Belleville in 2009. You second Indiana Midget Week champion, putting together a fine season within a season there. The Hall of Fame Classic. The night before the Brickyard at O'Reilly Raceway Park, which was not your first win at that racetrack. You actually picked one up the year before, regardless of what any announcer might have said on that particular night. The Turkey Night Grand Prix had to be a great one in there too, as well as the Glenn Howard Memorial. USAC CRA Sprint Car Feature, over 20 wins, a lot of them really signature banner wins, adding a lot to your resume. Bryan Clauson, congratulations.
Thank you. It was really unbelievable and humbling year. First off, I'd like to thank HARF and all the fans for recognizing me with this award. To sit there and look through that program and see some of the names I'm alongside now at 20 years old, it's pretty special, and I'm not sure if I deserve it or not, but I'm there now, so that's cool, and I'll always be on that program. So that's pretty special. But what we were able to do this year is pretty cool, and to not know in about December what exactly I was going to be doing this year, with a lot of help from Corey Tucker, those guys sitting over there at that table, Joe Gertie, and a lot of other people. Those are the biggest ones. But we were able to put together a program that let me come out and do this, and I had an absolute blast doing this stuff. Got to go back to Belleville and some of those races that I didn't think I was going to get to ever see again, let alone have a shot at winning, and crossed them off the list. And it was probably the best racing year of my life and some of the most fun.
Well, and we've talked about this a little bit before. You've had years where you've had a good year, and then when things came around to the next year, things weren't exactly going according to plan. But yet, the amazing thing about you and your team is that you always seem to be able ultimately to triumph over that. We did think that we had said goodbye to you and we were going to be watching you do much different kind of racing. We were glad to have you back and happy that it translated into such a good year, but definitely not the plan.
No, going back to following up great years, I joked with these guys after we won the Glenn Howard out in California that I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up. I don't.
You were really just kidding, right?
No, I was serious, because I was pretty sure that we crossed a lot of benchmark wins off in one year to win Belleville, Turkey Night, Indiana Midget Week. Really, the only thing that's keeping me coming back is that elusive sprint week. But that rocking chair. I want that rocking chair. But got to cross up some big ones, and actually came within a lap of Copper and a couple other big ones. So to follow up a year like that, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be able to, and now I'm sitting with 3 full-time deals, and obviously that didn't last very long. But I'm a glutton for punishment. But so to do what we were able to do this year was pretty special, and to go back to fight and getting through tough times. It's just surrounding yourself with great people and putting yourself in great situations, and being with people that believe in you and being with people you believe in.
Well, and I know that at the end of sprint week, there were highs and lows in that, but I heard you say at one point to your dad that if every week could be like that, with all of the experiences, both good and bad, you really wouldn't want to do anything but race sprint cars for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I still don't. This is the greatest form of racing there is. Unfortunately, it's a lot tougher to make a living doing this, but it is capable, and I'm doing it now. So it's a lot of fun, and the most pure form of racing there is. along with the midgets and any open wheel racing really. But it's an absolute blast and honor to get to continue to do this and have opportunities like some of them that were presented to myself for this coming year, along with this past year. To have a job and be able to keep doing what I love is pretty special and cool, and I'm very thankful for it.
Well, and you mentioned yourself, you're still at the young age of 20, and yet to listen to you talk about these races, how much that sprint week win meant to you, and how long that had been a goal that you and your dad had set. Winning Belleville, winning Turkey Night, some of the other things. You might be young, but you've always had a pretty firm grasp on the history of the sport for as long as you've been racing in it.
Yeah, I grew up around the sport and grew up in the sport with my father racing, obviously not around here, but still in the sport. And I grew up wanting to be a sprint car driver. It's just what it was. Obviously I got the opportunity to do some stuff on the stock car side, but I grew up wanting to be a sprint car driver and race sprint cars for a living. I got to do that over the ripe age of 14 or something like that. And so I've been around the sport a while, and I appreciate a lot of the history, and I'm a very big historian of the sport, and like to get into a lot of the history stuff. And it's just those races are pretty special, and races that you don't want to leave here without winning. And we cross some of those off the list, and hopefully this following year we can do some of the same.
Well, with those historic races that you look back and forward to at the same time, it's always been really important to you, and I can remember you talking about this for almost as long as you've been racing, but how you were going to give back. And so, BCI isn't just Bryan Clauson racing, but there are other drivers that you are at the same time bringing into the sport and kind of inculcating them with the history of the sport and learning about the sport at the same time.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff going on that we're kind of taking on this year, along with a little bit we did last year. But this year we're really starting to bring in more people and helping younger guys out and stuff like that. And my first full-on gig, I'd say, would be Chili Bowl this past year. We took 3 cars, and it goes back to the mechanical achievement award up here. We took 3 cars, and 2 of them got in, and I didn't. So they obviously carried me a little bit. But it was a lot of fun to go down there and work with Shane Golovic and Kyle Larson, 2 young guys, and really get to work with them and watch them progress through the whole week and end up not only making the A-main at the Chili Bowl, which is really tough to do, but run well. I think Kyle ran in the top 10, and Shane was right there before getting into a couple mix-ups. But to watch those guys progress and see my cars out there without me kind of hurt, but to see my cars out there and be able to help those guys was pretty cool and a lot of fun for me to do as well.
Well, Bryan, for everything that you have brought to the sport, for the way that you honor the sport, we are so pleased to honor you for 2010 as our HARF Driver of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Bryan Clauson. And I do want to point out that you mentioned that being in the program, and you'll always have this program, and how cool that is. I want to make sure that you see this over to your side. This is the Hoosier Auto Racing Fans Driver of the Year plaque. And you can see the Corey Tucker Racing Machine right there in the middle. That hangs here at the Speedway. And so not only are you forever part of our history in the program, but you are forever part of our history commemorated on this plaque as well.
That's awesome. It's like I said, it's pretty humbling to have my name on there with a lot of those guys, and it's pretty special and something I'll be able to cherish for a long time. And I'd also like to say congratulations to Tony Elliott over there, along with Johnny Parsons. But Tony was a big part of when I came into the sport in 2003, really, with the sprint car. We just ran locally at Kokomo, and he was a big help to me and really kind of helped me build a foundation for what I do now. So thank you and congratulations.